Good morning Trump family, have a good day and God bless you. Subscribe new my channel. God bless President Trump and our military. Heart. We'll update to the latest news about President Donald Trump. We will come to today's news. Restored Republic via a GCR. Update as of Wednesday 1 September 2021. Now was the time to pray. We're operational. It's about to happen. Be vigilant. God bless the United States of America. Red Carpet Event. Constitution Day September 17. Biden illegal inauguration. January 20, 2021. 30 weeks, 30 days equals September 17, 2021. The shot heard around the world. The Great Awakening. A week to remember. Judy note. No one was aware of the exact timing of when us in the Internet group Tier 4B would receive notification. It depended upon events, algorithms and prayer. With most everyone of consequence under NDAs, we only knew it was close and out of our control. Fleming Report Tuesday. Afternoon 31 August. On the global currency reset. What we heard, money was moving. What we see, money of account, was obvious, for some, and verified by bankers. What we felt, all was done, and Tier 4 was next. When though, no one was saying anything definite because no one wanted to be caught wrong again. This was where we lived today, awaiting the awakening, the prophecy, the event, the importance of why we were here. We heard that yellow dragon bonds, German bonds, the principal bonds that were validated, approved and in line for funding, were now closing. These tabletop meetings, happening yesterday Monday 30 August and today Tuesday 31 August, were the official start. This was the drop of the white flag that started the watershed event. It's okay to rally in expectation over this, because it's the legacy we shared with our family and friends. We would know when liquid, spendable funds were achieved because it accompanied notifications. Maybe tomorrow? Notifications, spendable, liquidity, were benchmarks that accompanied the release of gold-backed USD. The Gold-Backed International Treaty, adjudicated by the World Court, dictated that all payouts must be in gold-backed USD, which was the final event we would see, know and feel. The US, fiat, dollar must convert to gold-backed. This would be the cue to start the EBS and educate the world on the reasons for the systemic shifts being brought about. With this, honesty and integrity and respect for others, would be restored. On the restored republic, it would take all of us, all who heard and believed in the word shared, believing it was possible for simple people to change the future of this planet for generations to come. That believed that Iraq would revalue. That Vietnam would be made whole. That sovereign nations would be restored to health and prosperity. That we here in US, and all others around the world, would be set free from the captive slave state we were born into. Best of all, everyone everywhere would see redemption and restoration. That it was all of us that made this shift to grace happen. This shift to kindness was set to occur and would occur. Count on it. Everything changes once we were looking in the rearview mirror. What we think we know as of Tuesday 31 August. Biden admin people blocking the RV in the US were being arrested and removed. On Saturday the 22nd of August 207 participating countries celebrated the global currency reset in Iraq. On Wednesday the 25th of August, GCR began to be fully implemented, which resulted in the deep state, CIA Afghan twin suicide bombers attack at the Kabul airport on Thursday the 26th of August. Whiplash 347. Be ready for the 6th and 7th, Sunday, Monday. 2 days ahead of schedule. 9/11. Fry 3 or the 10th of September. Gitmo 9/11 pre-trials to begin. Saturday the 11th of September 9/11 anniversary as Gitmo pre-trial hearings on 9/11 continued. False flag protests expected as planned by cabal at US Capitol. And perhaps a public announcement of Nasara, GCR, or would wait until September 15. By Monday 13th of September. Tier 4B to be finished exchanging so rates could be adjusted for the Tier 5 public start of exchanges on Wednesday 15 September. Wednesday 15 September. Possible announcement of the gold standard and Nasara GCR. Restored republic. Under GCR, if governments of the world did not work for the people, they would be removed by the military. In the U.S., Marine General David Berger and the Department of Defense Joint Chiefs of Staff White Hats, including Chief of the Army General James C. McConville, Chief of the Air Force General Charles Q. Brown and Chief of Naval Operations Michael M. Gilday, have vowed to depose post-haste of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The Biden admin was considered by the U.S. military to be illegitimate because of proven election fraud by a Department of Defense internal investigation that found incontrovertible evidence of voting fraud in AS, NV, GA, PA, MI, Y. Under GCR, all nuclear plants must be shut down. North Korea, Iran, December 2019 and January 2020, and China's Three Gorges Dam 24 nuke facilities have already been hit with rods of God that caused earthquakes in those countries. The reversal of the Act of 1871 has major ramifications. No more Crown, Commonwealth, Constitutions, Balfour Declaration, Big Pharma, nor Big Tech etc. The event would use precision cyber attacks, 34 satanic buildings bombed, dams holding nuclear reactors destroyed and destruction of Bitcoin, along with a global stock market collapse. Governments would be 10% the size of what they were currently. No more Democrat, Republican, Liberal, nor Labour political parties with reversal of the 1871 Act of England and 1776 common law for all. Julian Assange said 98% of the U.S. Congress would not survive the event. China was going to a republic form of government. Cyberattacks worldwide alert. There's millions of massive cyberattacks worldwide right now. It is really important to protect your PC and phones against everything like malware, spywares, phishing, Trojan, hacks, ransomware, malicious apps, etc. Stay safe, anonymous and backup everything. Get free secured VPN 7 days trial. Get free 50 GB cloud storage and backup. Protect your passwords and access everywhere. Use Brave browser, not Google Chrome. Search DuckDuckGo, not Google. https://duckduckgo.com. The new Internet 2.0 Starlink Odin will be 100% secure, but we are not there yet. Right now is the most important time to secure and hide yourself. These evil companies and hackers want all your private data before the new system activate. Do not let them get anything. The Alliance or White Hats was composed of President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Iraqi Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi, India Prime Minister Narendra Modi, White Hats in the Department of Defense headed by Secretary of Defense Chris Miller, Undersecretary of Defense Intel Ezra Cohen Watnick and General Michael T. Flynn. Q-Force was composed of around 800 special ops who advise President Trump, including Pentagon Generals Vice Chief John Hyten, U.S. Marine General David Berger, Chief of the Army General James C. McConville, Chief of the Air Force General Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Naval Operations General Michael M. Gilday, General James McConville, General Paul Nakasone and General J. Raymond. QAnons, volunteer patriots headed by Ezra Cohen Watnick, General Flynn and J.F. Kennedy Jr., who is Q, while JFK Sr. was believed to be Q+, although some say Q+ was Donald Trump. The National Security Agency headed by our present acting U.S. President Richard Grenell who, with the U.S. under martial law, was running military operations in Washington, D.C. and various militaries across the globe, including the international force authorized to make arrests in any country, Interpol. The Real News for Tuesday 31 August. Thousands of American citizens stay as stranded hostages in Afghanistan, while the Taliban sends notice to Biden to trade them for financial gain. Nearly 90 retired generals and admirals signed a letter calling for the resignation of the Secretary of Defense and Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff based on their key roles involving events based on the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Sebastian Gorka. Biden is blocking the rescue of over 86 Americans who are trying to fly out of Afghanistan. Facebook, YouTube and TikTok have banned stories from relatives of military killed in Afghanistan. The sister of Navy Chairman Max Soviak, who was killed in Afghanistan, kept getting her video taken down from TikTok before they finally allowed it to stay up. Facebook disabled the account of Shayna Chappell. Chappell had confronted Biden about the death of her son, while Biden turned away and dismissed her. That same Monday, 31 August, the military arrested Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden as he and two underage female companions, ages 13 and 14, tried to re-enter the United States on a private plane from Dubai. Monday, 30 August. Military arrests Hunter Biden. According to sources, the U.S. military working under JAG, Gitmo, Tribunal Authority arrested Hunter Biden on Monday morning as he and two underage female companions tried to re-enter the United States after deboarding a chartered flight that originated in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. After they had claimed baggage at Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C., Biden and his friends were detained. Biden and his female colleagues were heavily intoxicated or stoned at the time of arrest, a military source told. All three had bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and could barely stand on their own 2 feet without aid. "Do you know who my father is? You can't do shit to me, motherfucker," Hunter Biden purportedly told a Delta Force operator. "Guess what? We don't work for your father," the operator replied. Hunter Biden was separated from the females and taken to a holding facility at an unknown location. Benjamin Fulford report. More rats abandoning Bidenship. The degeneration of the United States under the fake Biden regime has reached the point where many staunch allies are abandoning it. The chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan is turning out to be just one domino of many that will soon fall, multiple sources agree. The next dominoes are predicted to be Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Ukraine. However, the elephant in the living room remains Israel, Iran, and their Swiss-based sponsors. The Palestinians understand this, which is why they have announced they will no longer deal with the fake Biden regime. Donald Trump. Never in history has a withdrawal from war been handled so badly or incompetently as the Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan. In addition to the obvious, all equipment should be demanded to be immediately returned to the United States, and that includes every penny of the $85 billion in cost. If it is not handed back, we should either go in with unequivocal military force and get it, or at least bomb the hell out of it. Nobody ever thought such stupidity, as this feeble-brained withdrawal, was possible. Breaking news. Biden is blocking the rescue of over 86 Americans who are trying to fly out of Afghanistan. Australia. Silent protest rallies erupted at government buildings around Australia. A range of protest groups have called August 31 Shut Down Australia Day. Truck blocks freeway with sign, "Keep the blockage going until the government resigns." Félix Éboué Airport in the French Guiana is getting blocked by protesters. Delhi's Niagara Falls. Torrential downpours submerge roads, cascade off bridges. The monumental deluge that began yesterday in Delhi has seen the Indian capital transformed into an epic watery landscape, complete with its own Niagara Falls as rainwater gushes onto flooded roads below. Flooding brought most roads to a standstill, with meteorological experts issuing an orange warning, predicting up to another 20 centimeters of rain in the next 24 hours. The Biden regime targeted ISIS terrorists during a rocket attack on a residential building in Kabul. More than 20 Republicans in Congress are calling on Biden to resign because of the unsuccessful withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. Private sources in Afghanistan claim that the Taliban carries out executions in the homes of civilians in Kabul after the departure of the U.S. military, as well as after Biden left hundreds of Americans to their fate. The White House announces the completion of the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan and boasts of the largest foreign policy disaster in the history of the United States. Former MEP Nigel Farage. "I would not trust America under this administration. The UK will refuse any new military interventions while Biden is in office." Bidon's tactics. Secretary Blinken leaves, ignoring a reporter's question about Americans left behind enemy lines in Afghanistan. The leader of al-Qaeda returns to Afghanistan surrounded by Taliban security forces when the U.S. military leaves the country. Retired American soldiers tried to save Americans in Afghanistan, but the U.S. State Department stopped them. Biden abandons Americans and allies in Afghanistan. The last U.S. planes left the Kabul airport. Hamid Karzai Airport is now uncontrolled. The Pentagon announces that the war in Afghanistan is over. The last planes left the country, while hundreds, if not thousands of Americans found themselves in a difficult situation in the occupied territory. Biden met with the pregnant widow of one of the dead Marines in a terrorist attack in Afghanistan, and, as The Washington Post reports, everything did not go very well. The family of the deceased McCollum left the room and refused to talk to Biden. Only a pregnant widow spoke to him, but the meeting lasted only a couple of minutes. Biden for some reason told about his own dead son Beau and described his military service, as well as death from cancer. Beau died receiving the best medical care in the world surrounded by his family. He did not go to the battlefield, but sat in the office. 84% of Americans believe that the military should not have liberated Kabul until all Americans were evacuated, but the Biden regime does not agree with this. Analyst Wayne Root. The disaster in Afghanistan is another proof that Biden is working for China. The Biden regime orders local authorities not to cooperate with private contractors rescuing Americans in Afghanistan. The military authorities at the Kabul airport refuse to let American women and children in. Secretary Blinken went on vacation in the Hamptons when Kabul completely fell into the hands of the Taliban. Biden checks his watch during the transfer to the United States of 13 American soldiers killed because of his incompetence. Biden slaps his hand on the podium. I don't have to answer any questions, but at the same time go ahead. I am not going to answer about Afghanistan right now. Instagram Facebook. The mother of a soldier who died in Afghanistan, Shayna Chappelle, got angry at Joe Biden and wrote about it on Instagram and Facebook, for which the tech giant deleted her accounts. No disagreement with the regime in big tech is allowed. Chappelle then sent Biden an angry message to the White House, promising to come to the White House the day after her son's funeral and hold a protest demanding that Biden resign and take his entire corrupt administration with him. Trump on Fox News. Biden needs to apologize to the American people and he will stop trying to cheat everyone. British political commentator Neil Gardiner on Joe Biden's disastrous departure from Afghanistan. We see the humiliation of a superpower, a monumental catastrophe. Trump in an interview with the OAN TV channel about the possibility of a repeat of the 9/11-style terrorist attacks. Under the current administration, this is inevitable. The Biden administration was criticized after an animal rights group said that American service dogs were abandoned in Afghanistan. According to the updated data from Wikipedia, the result of the Afghan war was the victory of the Taliban. The Indian envoy met with the head of the Taliban's political office in Doha. According to two defense officials, the U.S. military concluded a secret agreement with the Taliban, as a result of which members of the Taliban accompanied groups of Americans to the gates of the Kabul airport when they tried to escape from Afghanistan. 90 retired U.S. generals and admirals are demanding that Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley resign because of the unsuccessful withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. Trump believes that the United States should take military equipment left in Afghanistan from the Taliban terrorist organization. The Counter-Terrorism Police of Pakistan reports that 11 militants of the Islamic State group were killed during a raid in the southwestern province of Baluchistan. Biden calls the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan an outstanding success, while blaming Trump and others. Then he finishes his speech and disappears without answering any questions from the press. Biden in today's address says, "My fellow Americans, the war in Afghanistan is over." Trump's press secretary responds, "Biden didn't end the war, he lost it." Whiplash 347. Up until September 6 I expect the real president back on Twitter possibly Friday to give us the tweet before the Feast of Trumpets on September 6, 7th Son, Mon. This year is the Jubilee year. We have a 10-day military tribunal for 9/11 set for September 6 to 17. September 10, E. O 13848 deadline, day before Jesus' birthday. I've always liked Daniel 7:17. Very possible the reformation of Hurricane Julian to head towards D.C. Look at the Ingersoll-Lockwood site today. We have 25 days to go and it asks us what day the Constitution was signed. The answer September 17, 1787. We have been told Christmas is coming early. We are swapping from Gregorian to Julian calendar. If we did the GCR, GCR reset over the next 2 weeks, then September 24, the same day the Ingersoll-Lockwood countdown ends, will be the birth of a new world. Merry Christmas. September 24 equals September 11. Judy note. Yeah, sounds appropriate. September 24 is my birthday. In violation of the law, Wisconsin missed 82,000 absentee ballots in the 2020 elections. The Biden regime is investigating how some Republican states are preventing the introduction of camouflage in schools, claiming that it is discrimination. Fact-checkers are fighting with netizens, defending Biden after he dozed off during a meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister, claiming that this is a misleading video. Inflation in the United States is growing rapidly. Russia and Saudi Arabia are signing an agreement to end the influence of the gasoline dollar, which puts the dollar itself and the economies of the countries at even greater risk. In North Korea, work is reportedly resuming at the Yongbyon nuclear reactor. It was closed in 2018 after pressure from Trump. According to intelligence reports, reactivating the facility may allow their leader to expand the arsenal of nuclear weapons. Sky News. Impeach Biden if he does not clear the awakened leadership of the Pentagon. Catastrophic damage in New Orleans. The water supply and sewerage system is damaged by Hurricane Ida. Biden's crazy policy is destroying the American economy, consumer sentiment is plummeting, and inflation is reaching the highest annual growth in 30 years. I do not now, nor have I ever, received monies for writing my updates and articles. The compensation has been in having outlets to help save the children by exposing truths about the very secretive satanic ritual abuse, pedophilia and child sacrifice that was rampant in our international society. The above was a summary of information from the Internet. It would be up to the reader to do their own research and decide whether or not it was valid. I will send the Safe Link website out when I find out what it is, plus it will be posted on several Dinar websites. It is my understanding that by linking into the Safe Link website it will generate a non-disclosure agreement to sign in order to obtain redemption, exchange appointments. After signing that non-disclosure I will be unable to email, post or talk to anyone about the exchange process for 90 days, so I will be going silent and taking those 90 days to get my humanitarian project organized and going. This is not a goodbye. I expect to be working with many of you in the near future. I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed getting to know you. You will remain in my heart forever. Let us thank Q that the reset has finally come to be. I wish you well in your humanitarian efforts and look forward to seeing you on the other side where together, we will make life better for all. Patience is a virtue. Having virtue is a sign of a good moral being. Good moral beings have the power to overcome evil and change the world. And, we